This is a mindful movement practice of about 30 minutes. We will be doing some simple body movements. It's important in this practice not to think of it as a sort of competition, neither with yourself or with anybody else. It's important not to try too hard, as if it was a matter of achievement or success and failure. It's more important to honor your own body and its limits. The wisdom of your body will tell you how much of each posture to do, and where to move away from a posture. Let your own sensitivity to your body override the instructions on how long to hold on to any posture. If you find any of the postures are difficult, then either sitting them out, simply by imagining your body being in this posture, or moving up to the edge of the posture and just remaining there, wherever your body winds up. Just exploring the edges of a posture. You'll find that if you do this practice regularly, the limits of what your body does will change from day to day. It's important to be aware of these limits and to dwell at their boundaries long enough to experience them. But it's just as important not to push beyond them. The best results will be achieved by not trying to achieve anything at all. It's enough just to follow the instructions as best you can, paying full attention to exactly how your body is feeling in each moment. As we do this practice, exploring sometimes doing the postures with the eyes open, and sometimes with the eyes closed, noticing the difference. So now, lying on your back, letting your feet fall away from each other, with your arms lying by the sides of your body, the palms facing up if that feels comfortable to you. And focusing now on the sensations as you breathe. Zooming into the sensations of breathing, down in the lower abdomen, down in the belly. The rising of the abdomen on an in-breath. The falling away on the out-breath. As if you were floating on a raft in the sea or a lake, and the in-breath was taking you up, the out-breath letting you down again. And on an out-breath, letting go of any tensions there may be. Now when you're ready on an in-breath, moving the stretched arms so that the hands come up above your head and end up stretched above your head, touching the floor again, stretching out as far as the fingers will go, and the heels stretching out in the other direction, so that your body is stretched here and you're aware of the sensations of this stretch. Continuing now to breathe, and noticing the sensations all the way down the arms, the armpits, the trunk, the legs, as your fingers are stretched out above your head and the heels are stretched out in the other direction. And as you breathe, noticing if there are any changes in the sensations. And then when you're ready, on an out-breath, letting go of the stretch and allowing the stretched arms to come back over your head, very slowly coming back to rest by the side of your body, with the palms facing upwards, if that feels comfortable. Noticing the consequences of having done that stretch, tuning in to the sensations in your body, in touch with the sensations, whatever they are. Now, when you're ready, sliding the feet up towards the buttocks, so that you end up with the knees pointing towards the ceiling, and the legs in the shape of an upside-down V. The feet are about 30 centimeters away from the buttocks and about a hip's width apart. Now pushing your heels gently into the mat, perhaps noticing that this causes the tailbone to come very slightly off the mat, and your pelvis, your hips tilting just a little bit, and your lower back pushing very slightly into the mat. Just experimenting with this for a few moments, pushing your heels gently into the mat, noticing the effects in your pelvic region and your lower back. Now we're going to make that movement a little bigger, tilting the pelvis so that the tailbone comes off the mat and your lower back is pushed into the mat. Now we're going to tilt the pelvis in the other direction, so that the tailbone comes down into the mat. And you'll notice that the effect of doing that is that the small of the back comes off the mat and makes an arch. So that if you want to feel with one hand, you can put the hand under the small of the back in the arch that formed. And holding that position and breathing with it for a few moments. Then taking the hand away and tilting the pelvis again in the other direction. So the small of the back comes down onto the mat. And the pelvis is still on the mat, but the tailbone is now coming off the mat very slightly. And now just gently rocking from one position to the other in your own time, perhaps in time with your breathing. And then when you're ready, coming to rest. And drawing the knees right up towards the chest, moving your arms around to take hold of the thighs underneath the knees, and hugging your thighs to the chest. And you may rock gently from side to side, and massage the muscles on either side of your spine. And if you like, you can bring your head and shoulders up, off the mat, towards the knees, so that you're rocking gently here with the head towards the knees. And you might try some circular motions as well. And then when you're ready, coming to rest, moving the shoulders and the head back down onto the mat. Letting go of the thighs and letting the legs stretch out again onto the mat. And tuning in to the sensations in the body. The after effects of doing these stretches. Noticing the sensations of the breath moving in and out of the body. Now drawing up the left knee, reaching out with your arms and holding on to the left thigh and squeezing it very gently towards the chest. And however far it comes, that's as far as it needs to be for you in this moment. And then perhaps moving up the head and the shoulders again towards the knee, seeing where you wind up. Continuing to breathe and notice the effects of these stretches on your breathing. And then, when you're ready, moving the head and shoulders back down onto the mat, and letting the left leg stretch out back onto the mat, noticing the after effects. Perhaps noticing the difference between one side of the body and the other, one leg and the other. Now when you're ready, moving the right knee up, and again reaching out with your hands and arms, moving your hands and arms around the thigh of the right leg, and squeezing it very gently towards the chest, not forcing it in any way. Moving up to the edge of this stretch, not trying to move beyond it or to compete with yourself. Letting go of all that sense of wanting things to be a certain way. And if you want to, bringing up your head and shoulders towards the knee. And then, when you're ready, moving the head and shoulders back down onto the mat, and letting the legs stretch out again. Coming back in the starting position, lying on your back with the hands at your sides, and the legs stretched out with the feet falling away from each other. Breathing. What sensations are here in this moment? And as best you can, allowing yourself to be just as you are, allowing your body just to be as it is. Now when you're ready, see about turning over and coming up onto all fours. So in this position, the hands and the palms of the hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And your knees, about hips width apart, are directly underneath your hips. And the position is something like that of a table with 4 legs. And remaining here for a few moments and breathing. We're going to do some cat stretches. So on an out breath, letting the back come up, as if you were a cat arching its back. Let your head come down between your arms and really giving your back a good stretch on this out breath. And then on the in-breath, letting the head come up and the back come down. So the abdomen and the belly are hanging here, a bit closer to the ground. So it's the opposite of the arching. It's almost arching in the other direction, but not overdoing it. And then on an out-breath again, moving up into another cat stretch. Arching the back, the head comes down between the arms. And then on the in-breath, letting the back come down and move slowly into the reverse position. And the head and shoulders will come up and you may be able to look out ahead. So once more, breathing out and making a cat stretch. Breathing in, coming into the other direction. Breathing out, stretching, arching the back. Now doing this in your own time, arching the back on an out-breath, and then moving the back into its other position on an in-breath. Now coming back into the table posture. Placing your right hand a few centimeters more towards the center. And bringing your left knee also a few centimeters more towards the center. Now from this posture, stretching out the left leg behind you, parallel to the floor, and holding it in this position. If it feels safe for you to do so, stretching also the right arm in front. You can look out over the fingers of the right hand if this feels comfortable, or just let your gaze rest downwards. This is a bit of a balancing and strengthening posture. And you may notice that your body moves from moment to moment to help you maintain your balance. And just simply remaining here, breathing. Listening to and respecting the signals of your body. And then when you're ready, bringing down the leg and bringing down the hand and arm and doing a few more cat stretches. Letting the head come down, breathing out and giving your back a good stretch. Breathing in, the belly hanging down and the head coming upwards. And then coming back to the table posture. Placing your left hand and right knee a few centimeters towards the center. And this time stretching out the right leg behind you, parallel to the floor, holding it in this position. And if it feels safe, stretching out the left arm in front of you and looking out over the fingers of the left hand if that feels comfortable. And balancing, breathing. And when you're ready, coming down and doing some more cat stretches. And then when you're ready, lying back down, on your back, on your mat, back in the starting posture. So, lying here now, noticing the sensations of the after effects of these postures. In touch with your body. Allowing it to be just as it is. In this moment, simply lying here, breathing. Nowhere to go. Being here with your body and in your body. Now when you're ready, drawing up the knees again towards the ceiling, but this time sliding the feet a little bit further towards the buttocks and a little bit further apart. We're going to do the half bridge pose. So pushing off with your feet so that your tailbone comes off the mat. Then your buttocks, your lower back, and vertebra by vertebra, bringing your back off the mat, so that your body is ultimately resting on the bottom of your feet and on your shoulders. Then bringing the hands and arms behind your head and letting them rest there. And in this position there's lots of space to breathe, so breathing down into the abdomen, noticing the sensations particularly in your thighs. And once again, if this feels too difficult, coming down if it feels right for you to do so. But maintaining this as long as your body says it's right to do. Honoring the wisdom of your body. And And now when you're ready, vertebra by vertebra, letting the body come back down onto the mat, starting with the upper back, the middle of the back, the lower back, and the buttocks. And then stretching out the legs and bringing the arms back to rest by the sides of your body. And in this posture, noticing the after effects, tuning in to the sensations. And now when you're ready, drawing up the knees towards your buttocks again into an inverted V shape, so the knees are pointing towards the ceiling, but this time keeping the legs and the feet together, so they're touching each other. And bringing the hands up behind the head, lacing the fingers together so that your head is resting on your fingers. We're going to do a twist stretch, so tightening up the muscles in your tummy, and then letting the knees come over to the left-hand side, so allowing the left knee to come down very slowly onto the mat, onto the floor, until it maybe touches the floor or maybe not. And the right knee may come with it all the way or may just hang there. And then breathing with that, and as you breathe, taking your face over to the other direction, so looking out over your right elbow. So moving the head towards the right and looking out over your right elbow. So this is a twist, and you'll find that as you breathe, especially as you breathe in, the twists may intensify slightly. And then as you breathe out, you can let go and allow gravity to pull your body down towards the floor. No need to push through it at all. Just let gravity do its work on the out-breath. Now when you're ready, tightening up the tummy muscles again and bringing the knees back up into the central position. Bringing the face to face the left elbow, so we are looking out now over your left elbow. Tightening up the tummy muscles and letting the knees go over to the right, so the right knee may make contact with the floor or not. And the left knee may just be with it, or maybe hanging near it, and the body is twisted in the other direction. Continuing to breathe, so that on the in-breath the stretch intensifies. And on the out-breath you can let go, and let gravity pull you down towards the mat. Now when you're ready, tightening up the tummy muscles again and drawing the knees back up into the central position. Unlacing the fingers, letting your head go back down onto the mat, the arms down by your side, and stretching out the legs, coming back into the starting position, on your back with your hands on your sides, the legs and feet stretched out, breathing. Remaining open to whatever sensations are here in this moment, allowing them to be just as they are, being curious about what sensations are here. Now when you're ready, drawing up the right knee, so it's pointing towards the ceiling, and the right foot is close to the left knee. Breathing in this position. Then taking a deeper breath, and on the out-breath tightening up the tummy muscles slightly and lifting the left leg so that it moves up into the air and winds up pointing towards the ceiling, or wherever it winds up, it's fine for you. That's where it's supposed to be right now. And when it gets in the air, feeling the effects of that and noticing if any other part of the body is involved. noticing if the hands or the arms are tensed up or the face is tensed up in any way. If they are, just let them relax, because they're not involved in this movement. The left leg is able to work in this way by itself. Then moving the foot round and round as if you had a paintbrush on your toe and were drawing circles on the ceiling. First in one direction, and then in the other direction. And then letting the foot come to rest, and now imagining that you had paint on the bottom of your foot and you wanted to make a footprint on the ceiling. So moving the foot flat as if it was going to make a footprint. And as you do that, you may notice that the back of the leg tightens up. Notice the effect of that tightening. Just experimenting and exploring the sensations as you move your foot in this way. And if you want to intensify the stretch slightly, you can reach out with your hands and arms behind your thighs, gently pulling the leg towards you, but not forcing anything to happen. And you may like to move the head and shoulders off the mat towards the knee, if you wish. But if you don't, just remaining here with the head and shoulders on the mat. Now when you're ready, once again tightening up the tummy muscles and very, very slowly allowing the leg to come down, breathing with it. It might take several moments for the leg to come down, as if it were a crane lowering a very heavy but delicate weight. And notice when it does reach the floor the wave of relief through the whole body and through those muscles that have been doing this work to hold up this heavy weight. And letting the right leg stretch out again, and lying here, noticing the after effects of that stretch. Now when you're ready, drawing up the left knee, so the knee is pointing towards the ceiling and the left foot is just about level with the right knee. Taking a deeper breath, and as you breathe out, tightening up the tummy muscles slightly and moving the right leg up into the air, as far as it will come, not pushing beyond any limits. Allowing your body to be just as it is. Then moving the foot, making circular movements, first in one direction, now in the other direction. Then making footprints on the ceiling, noticing the effects on the muscles in the back of the leg. Breathing. And if you want to intensify the stretch, then reaching out and holding the thigh and easing the leg further up into the vertical position. If you want to, letting your head and shoulders come off the ground and face your knee. Breathing, tuning into the sensations. And then when you're ready, with the small of the back against the mat, tightening up the tummy muscles slightly, begin lowering very slowly the right leg. Taking your time as it slowly comes down towards the mat. And when it reaches the floor, noticing the wave of relief as the floor takes over the work of holding up your leg. So now lying on your back with your hands by your sides, the legs and feet stretched out, lying here and breathing. Allowing the eyes to close if that feels comfortable. Becoming aware of the wave-like movements of the breath at the belly. Letting go of thoughts and memories about what we have done, what we've asked our body to do. and just becoming aware of the sensations in the whole of your body right now. A sense of coming home to your body, allowing your body to be as it is. Simply lying here, breathing. With each out-breath perhaps sinking deeper into the floor. And bringing some of this sense of acceptance and wholeness with you as you end this practice and resume the activities of your day as your life continues to unfold from moment to moment.